We open up with Cumber mid-battle against the first Super Saiyan god in the universe, Yamoshi. They battle with Cumber being cut and damaged until Yamoshi powers up his final attack and plans to kill Cumber, but a mysterious onlooker, Hearts, watches on and teleports Cumber to a prison. He then gives him the chains around his body and mask to both heal him up and jack him up. To an unknown degree, Hearts has made a wager with Few that he is a better enhancer than Few is. The wager is that a warrior Few's choosing must fight against an enhanced warrior of Hearts. Few already has his in mind and knows exactly how to motivate him. Few then speeds up the time and takes Cumber to heal and that takes the steroids and the healing process to do. Basically, this is how strong Cumber is in the anime of Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Anyways, Hearts then tells Few that their little wager can begin. Hearts then cuts Cumber across the face, getting his blood boiling, and then kicks him through one of Few's portals to let the battle commence. As Cumber falls to the planet below, Broly looks up and sees him falling and immediately rushes over to see what it is and check it out, only to be met by a furious Cumber. Cumber shatters his chains and knocks Broly back, which Broly races back in his Ikari form, which begins the battle. Obviously, having no idea what's going on, and Cumber with him hits him with a left kick and then a right, as Broly simply defends as we see Chi-Lai and Limo walk out of their home, which they were building within a cave, as Broly and Cumber battles. They are surprised that Broly is actually trying to talk down to Cumber and understand what's going on. He actually doesn't want to fight, he just wants to see if he can help Cumber. However, Cumber doesn't share the same sympathy. Cumber then erupts from his chains and catches Broly off guard, punching him in the face, telling him that he's not here to be helped or saved by anyone. He just wants a good fight. He is the strongest Saiyan there is. However, Broly doesn't take lightly to this. Cumber then sends a blast of energy down at Broly, but as the smoke clears, Broly is standing there and looks at Cumber with excitement in his eyes, telling him that the title already belongs to someone, him. He erupts into Super Saiyan. Cumber tilts his head and questions if he thinks that's impressive. Cumber then races him against a test of power. They each shove against each other, and neither can seem to overpower the other. So Cumber knees Broly in the chin, but Broly doesn't even move. He then swirls Cumber around and throws him across the landscape, sending green energy blast at Cumber. But Cumber recovers and uses his darkness hand, cutting the blast in half. He then ignites an evil Saiyan aura. Broly then notes that this and blasts the ground in a mist, covering himself, then erupting from the ground behind Cumber, then kicking Cumber in the back, sending him flying. However, the evil Saiyan energy has already infected Broly. Broly then begins to turn into the evil Super Saiyan, which, with no one else around Broly races in and battles Cumber. His plan has backfired. He's just made Broly stronger. Basically, Cumber stacked the evil Saiyan energy that turned Super Saiyan 2 Goku into like a mindless monster against, all he did was just make him evil and stronger, but Broly's using that energy against himself. Anyway, which Broly uses to beat down Cumber into the mulch. Broly then looks around for more opponents to fight. He then notices Chile and Limo. He then races up to them and begins attacking them within the cave. But Chile stands strong and holds her arms open. Broly looks at her and sniffs her as she and Limo tries to bring Broly back to his senses, which Broly then begins to come back around and control himself while powering up. However, as he's trying to control himself, Cumber reemerges from the rubble and has turned Super Saiyan 3. He then blasts at Broly, evaporating the entire cave that the three were standing in. Cumber chuckles. Out of the debris, we see the legendary Saiyan Broly holding his two friends with scratches on his body. He lands, setting them down, telling him to get to a ship. Broly then turns around at Cumber and promises Chile they won't lose control. He then erupts with an awesome green energy and flies in, battling Cumber furiously, which beats down Cumber, knocking him all around. Then Cumber recovers and headbutts Broly and continues battling on even ground, but no, wait. It seems Broly is losing ground. Cumber knocks Broly around, even circling the even circling around the planet. They are so destructive they dash through the acid lava from Vampa, which is blown all around due to their power and speed. They are literally reshaping Vampa without even touching it. Broly is eventually knocked out of the sky as he falls around a pack of Ba's race, the green cat snake thing that his Ba's ear is his pelt. Anyway, however, Cumber doesn't care for them, but Broly grows sentimental for them. He then watches as Cumber blast at Broly, which Broly tries to counter, but he just can't push it back, and the other creatures surrounding him, which evaporates him and all the creatures. Broly then looks around to see the dead creatures. He then looks where Chilai and Limo are in the sky. Cumber then blasts down at Broly again, but Broly overfluctuates his body and races in at Cumber, slams his fist straight into Cumber's gut, and then uses an energy blast to bust Cumber's mask off. He then knees Cumber in the face and grabs Cumber by the face and blasts Cumber into the mulch, slowly gaining more and more speed until Broly chest blasts Cumber, erupting onto him, blowing him far, far away, which as Broly lands and catches his breath, Cumber is already back soaring through at Broly and headbutts him. Broly is out there. Broly is struggling out there. Cumber then grabs Broly and begins shoving him down into the planet. Begins to become very unstable. Green and red beams shoot out from the planet, causing it to lose structure and nearly explodes. However, Broly then shoots up with power and rockets at Cumber, which they barrel out of the planet and land upon the ground. As Cumber grows more and more weak, he is unwilling to lose. He powers up a fake moon in his hand and throws it up into the sky, which, much to the surprise of everyone. We then have a problem of a giant Great Ape Broly and a giant Great Ape Cumber on the same space, in the same planet, throwing around such destructive energy, destroying the entire outside solar system as they battle, until Broly eventually accidentally smacks into the fake moon, which means they can't revert back. Broly is already lost into his Great Ape form, and Cumber has enough control over it that it's not a problem. Cumber and Broly get into another test of strength, which Chile and Limo notice that Cumber is left open. If they can keep each other busy, maybe Chile and Limo could help. So Chile and Limo use their ship and begin to get closer and closer, which we see Broly begin to get worried about their destructive power and tries to power up more. But as Cumber overpowers him in his Great Ape form, pushing down on Broly, bringing him to his knee, and then shling sound, Cumber's tail is cut off by a laser from Chile and Limo's ship. Cumber then reverts back to his Super Saiyan 3 form. He is angry, and they took his tail from him. However, he had more things to worry about. Broly is still rampaging in the Great Ape form, which he does overwhelm Cumber for the longest time until Broly has had enough and calms down and contains himself. He reverts back to his normal legendary form. However, something's different this time. Cumber rushes in and swings at Broly, but Broly calmly catches it and headbutts Cumber back. Broly is more calm now and far more powerful than Cumber, but Cumber questions how. Broly tells him that he did him a favor, turning him into a great ape like that. Cumber raises a brow to this. Broly then powers up a punch and slams into Cumber's face, saying that all he did was help him tap into the full abilities of his instincts. The Ikari form was a perfect way to start, but Super Saiyan and the Legendary only helped. However, he can learn to combine them in the future. Man, what could he do? And we get a glimpse of what he could become. However, this is not reality. Broly is just erupting in his legendary form and has a higher power level than ever before. Cumber then loses his Super Saiyan 3. He can't. No, not now. Cumber has burned up too much energy. Cumber then erupts in his full power of his base form, and Broly and him begin trading blows over and over again until Broly keeps pushing Cumber more and more back. Cumber has no way to come back from this. However, Cumber does manage to push himself to go Super Saiyan. He and Broly are now at each other's throats, with Cumber now standing on thin ice and have a chance to win, but Broly keeps pushing and pushing until the battle reaches its peak with blinding green and yellow swirling lights, with red lightning shooting all around the planet. Chile and Limo watch on and are even surprised to who the winner is. Even Hearts and Few are surprised, and they've been watching the entire time. Even they're surprised to see that the winner is Broly standing with his fist pumped up, and Cumber on the ground, shortly before reverting to base and collapsing. Hearts and Few have made a wager, and Few has won. They then confiscate Cumber and leave the planet be. Hearts even repairs it as a nicety, but Chile and Lemo are still unaware of the external powers. Wake Broly up after making sure he's okay and tell him the stories of the epic battles, and he plans to train to obtain the power he saw when he was elevated during the Great Ape form. Super Saiyan 4.